The topic is what? Project life cycle and methodology, which is actually the first, but I didn't explain it because of this. Methodologies. And you guys, if you might remember, we have two types of methodologies, which is predictive. Predictive life cycles are used when, or predictive methodologies are used when the scope is?
No, clear.
No, predictive scope, sorry. Yeah, scope is clear.
No, clear.
Yeah, predictive methodology is used when scope of work is clearly available, transparent. While adaptive life cycle is used when there is unknown. You don't know. We know the final deliverable, but you don't know what is it. So we call it adaptive, and we use it because of unknown, or we could have high uncertainty. Then we use it adaptive.
But normally, sir, adaptive we are using for the experience.
That's what we call it, trial and error. Okay. So in adaptive, in predictive, we have what? How many life cycles we have? We have relationship waterfall life cycle, which contains sequential or overlapping relationship of the phases. In adaptive life cycle, we have three: iterative, incremental, and agile. That's what I'm going to explain one by one. The first one I'm going to explain is predictive life cycle, when everything is known. What happens in the predictive life cycle? In predictive life cycle, I said we have what called phases. So we will complete phase 1. Then we will move to phase 2. Then we'll go to phase 3. Then we'll go to phase 4. Ultimately, our final deliverable will be usable at the end. Final deliverable is usable at the end. And we are not coming back. That's why we also call it waterfall. That's why we also call it waterfall model of doing the project. It is also called as waterfall. They call it linear, or they call it sequential. So these are the terminologies for this life cycle, that you are doing the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And if you have done the project several times before, so sometimes what we do to save time, we can do the phases in overlapping. When you are doing the phases in overlapping, so there's a good chance that project can be completed earlier. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That is called this overlapping relationship. So the purpose of this is what, if I make like this, with the help of this is output for this, and this is the output for this, and then this is the output for this, and this is the output for this. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. This was phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and this is what output. But final output is only usable at the end. Predictive life cycle is okay. Very crystal clear, right? And we use it when the scope of work is very clear. You know everything. You know everything on your fingertip. So no need to worry about anything. Just do your work accordingly, sequentially or in overlapping. But if you have uncertainties, now let's bring uncertainty. Agile is mostly used in service sector projects. Now, when I say service sector projects, for sure, mainly the IT. Second is financials. Third is consultancy. Then trainings. Then so these type of things we have it when we do the projects. So when we have uncertainties, then we do what? Adaptive life cycle. In adaptive life cycle, we use it when uncertainty is there. We don't know the final thing. We know the value only, that we need to deliver this value. How? You will learn with the time. So it has 3 life cycles. The first one is what? Iterative life cycle. What happens in iterative life cycle? We do something and we don't go forward until we don't go forward until we take the feedback and refine it. When this is logged, then we go to next, and then we ask them. And if they say yes, we keep repeating the work until the person agree. Then we go to next. Then we keep doing it. We keep refining it. Because you are doing something on trial and error basis, and you're just trying to work by your own. And finally, you will be able to produce the output. So here again, output is usable at the end. If you want, I can give you an example to you to visualize yourself. So it is like you are trying to create a website. Everyone knows about the website, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I say that on the first, you try to create the style of the website, the color and everything. So you said, Imran, like if I'm Imran as a project manager, executionist, and let's suppose Mr. Shibli is coming to me that Imran, I want to make a website. So I will ask Mr. Shibli, what type of website you need? I said, I don't know, show me something. So I will show him something. I will collect his feedback and I will make a web page that it looks like this. Then Shibli will say, then we will refine, right? Then Shibli will say, can we make the color different? Can we make the page size bigger? Can we apply the links here instead of here? And menu can be here and so on. Agree? Yes, agree. Then we'll go to the next phase and then we will add more pages in the website with the similar style what Shibli agreed here. So in here, next phase, what we will do, we'll do the new thing, not the previous work. We are not going to do the previous work here. Here we will do the new work, which means we will add new pages. And now he will say, Imran, is it possible that can you make a video somewhere? So what he's doing, he is refining. So now we added the video also. Logged Shibli, yes. Website sample done, pages done, videos added. Now we went to, he will say, now Imran, can we add a feature of e-commerce so the customer can come and pay on my website? Yes. So now here website will be added and then the functionality of e-commerce will be added. Okay. Can they pay by STC Pay because it is very popular in Saudi Arabia? Okay, no problem. We will add STC Pay. Can they pay by Google Pay or Apple Pay? Okay. So now all the things are done. So we will make the website final as live. So now customer can use it. Till here to here, it was in the, you can say R&D, or you can say it was in the lab, as in the lab. And then it went live once all the work is finished. This is called as iterative life cycle. This one is called as iterative life cycle. Point is clear what I tried to make it?
Yes, sir.
For me.
Can I write it here? No, it's written. Now I will make the second one. What is second one? Incremental life cycle. An incremental life cycle, what we do, we make the smaller version of a product. And then in the next version, we increase it. You know, like versions, version 1, version 2, version 3. Then we keep doing it bigger, 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 bigger. You might have thought that why I'm making circles here. I am making circles here that whatever the functionality I am providing here, it's usable from the beginning.
Windows, like Windows.
Like Windows, or if I give you the concept of ERP softwares. So any ERP software, whenever a company is going to install or implement, what they do, they create a small module and they install it. Then they collect the feedback and then they add more options. One module is completed. Yeah. Then they do more modules. Then they add more modules. Then they add more modules and then they add more modules. But whatever they are adding and whenever they are adding, every time the deliverable is usable. The functionality remains limited, but it's working. In iterative, it was only working at the end. In incremental, it is working from the beginning. So here time is reduced, right? In iterative, it was taking a long time because feedback. But in incremental, at least something starts, something comes in front of your eyes, and then you start assuming and providing the feedback.
But it will depend on the nature of job, sir.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is what incremental life cycle. All of you agree with it? Mr. Razeen, Mr. Shabli, Mr. Bukhari, Mr. Ahmed?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So now I will clear the whole board. Let me repeat it one more time. We have two types of life cycle: predictive, when scope is very clear, and predictive, we have what sequential life cycle, where we do the sequence and we are not going back for anything. That's why it is also called as waterfall. We can have overlapping relationship between phases, so we can do multiple phases together to reduce the time, but it will only be done when scope of work is clear. If it is not clear, we have uncertainties, then we use adaptive life cycle. In adaptive life cycle, I told you the first one is iterative life cycle or iterative life cycle, where we do something and we collect the feedback and refine it. We do something, we collect the feedback and refine it. We do something, we collect the feedback and refine it. But final life goes only at the end of the project. So final output will only be usable at the end. It was good because you were improving from your mistakes, but the end result was a long waited. So they started with incremental life cycle. That start with the smaller thing and then increase the functionality as per the situations. We call it adaptability. That's why we call it adaptive life cycle. So in both of them, if you look, time and cost is still uncontrollable, right? You keep refining, you keep doing, you keep refining, you keep doing. So time and cost is still not coming in our control. Yes or no?
Yes.
Every week you will say something, every day you will say something. Okay, we will try to achieve your dream thing, but it doesn't mean that I will put all my team for all the time and then you keep investing. So they said, let's do something. Combine iterative and incremental, and we call it agile life cycle. This is 50% of our exam, and I will be explaining now only 10 to 15%. So don't think that I will be explaining whole agile here, but I will explain the concept of agile. So agile life cycle contains combination of iterative, let me use mouse, sorry, the writing. So it will be like clean, iterative plus incremental life cycle. Everything we do in agile is time bound. Now, how it is time bound? Time bound, resource bound, and cost is also fixed. I think I have to make two columns. Yes. In predictive, we call it phase. In agile, it is called as iteration or sprint. In predictive, we call it phase. In agile, we call it iteration or sprint. Similarly, in predictive, we call requirements. In agile, we call it user stories, Apex / user stories. In predictive, we have scope baseline, which is WBS. In agile, we call this product backlog. In predictive, we have lesson learned. We have lesson learned. In agile, we have retrospect. In predictive, we have phase gate to check the viability. In agile, we have iteration illustration or sprint review. Correct, Mr. Bashir and Mr. Bukhari?
Yes.
So in the predictive, we just need to review it and we have to memorize the agile. If I am right.
Yes. Yes. Memorize me. You don't need to memorize, just understand it. That is
Okay.
what our. Go ahead.
Small question. Apex. Well, what is this?
I will explain. I didn't start. I was just writing the technologies. So when I speak, you guys don't get confused.
It is very important what you're doing. It's
Exactly.
very
That's
clear.
why I
It's very
said this
clear.
is the very, very important topic, and I need
Yeah.
all of your attentions. So, yesterday we said you will collect requirement by questionnaire, by surveys, by interviews, by prototype. Now, let me add another thing. In predictive, we collect requirement. In agile, it is called as elicitation. Now, my first question from you guys. You guys know what is elicitation?
No.
No.
If I come to you and I ask you that which type of cloth you wear, you will tell me directly, right? Because you know what type of clothes you need. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So this is called as collect requirements. Requirements are collected when they are known. Okay. If
Okay.
it is unknown, then they are elicited. Now, what is this elicitation? If you will read the English definition of elicitation, it's like scratching the head out. Now, scratching the head out, like you will say story, you will say joke, you will say incident, you will define a situation, and then you say, oh, yes, that's what I meant. You know, but you can't express it. That you have some like, okay, don't take it in the bad way, but just for understanding purpose. In our Asian culture, majority of us are got married with our cousins, right? So we know that whom we are going to marry. But nowadays, majority of us we have a dream girl in our brain. I need a girl who look like this. I need a girl who have this. I need a girl. Then we show them the photograph, right? And then finally it's like, yes. Or you tell them, does she look like Angelina Jolie? Does she look like this? And you say, yeah, her hair should be like Angelina Jolie. Her face should be like what's the name of her? Jefferson, right? Annie Jefferson. And it should like Emma Watson and so on. So now I am explaining you the things and you are relating that I need something. So when you are telling me something, I'll be drawing the sketch. And once I will draw the sketch, you will say, yeah, that's exactly what I need. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to take out the requirements from your heads. What?
Still unclear for me. Sorry. Elicitation.
Did you get the purpose of elicitation? That elicitation is done when you are unable to express it, and to take out the information, I have to tell you something, I have to show you something, and then you will be able to explain, yes, that's what I need. Didn't work?
Work well.
Let me change the example. Mr. Razeen Shebli, what about you?
Not very clear. Clear
Not
for
very
me.
clear. Now let me repeat the same thing in a different way. Mr. Bashir,
Yes,
you want to make a house. What type of house you need?
a modern house. That's it.
Huh?
Modern house.
What is the definition of modern?
That's a two-story
Yes.
house, for example.
The house should be two-story.
house
Then
with a swimming pool.
with what?
A swimming pool
Swimming pool inside or outside?
on the roof.
on the roof swimming pool. What else?
With a big garage, for example.
There should be a garage. What? Over the ground or under the ground?
Under the ground.
Under the ground. And
That's it.
what you need in the garage?
3 cars.
It should be enough for
3 cars.
3 cars. You want 3 cars to be straight, or you want them to be in the what we call it, bunk bed type of a style, one over
Straight.
other.
Parallel.
No, parallel or straight. So he said parallel. Okay, good. Swimming pool depth, how much?
3 meters.
Any depth? No, it's not any.
3 meters. 3 meters.
3 meters should be the depth of swimming pool. And width?
25 meters.
25 meters. How many rooms you need?
4.
4 on the your bedroom should be on which side? Left side or right side?
Left.
In the middle.
For example. Yeah, left.
Left side. Where you will put the bed?
Near the window.
Near the window. What I am doing actually, I am trying to extract out the
Okay.
things, right?
Okay.
And you don't know the dimensions, right? I am just
No.
creating a sketch for you.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Clear.
So this is called as elicitation when it is unknown. So if I say that, okay, you said this is what room, how I will add more things to it so it will look like elicitation. That I say you need an Italian room. You will say, what is Italian room? So you need a Spanish window. We will say, what is a Spanish window? I can say you need this type of carpet. You say, what is? So I will show you this carpet, right? Or I will show you the window, or I will show you the gate, right?
Okay. I get it.
French window. So now I am giving you something, or like you are telling me something which you didn't know about it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to elicit it.
Okay.
But if you said by yourself that Imran, I specifically need a French window, I specifically need the Italian inside, I specifically need the Spanish floorwares. So it means you already knew it. It means you already knew it. Yeah.
It becomes predictive.
Yes. So it is called as collect requirement when you know.
Okay.
And when you don't know, so what we have to do? Elicit it. So I have to show you the pictures of the Italian work and the Spanish work and the French work. Then you will select from those work, right? And the colors and everything.
Yeah.
So this is called as elicitation, scratching the things out of your head.
Clear.
So I hope this example works for all.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Understand.
Fully understand, right? So if you want to create, like now what you understood actually, that if you want to create something new, it's better to do in Agile.
Yes, with proper feedback, it will be easy.
With proper feedback or with proper elicitation,
Yeah, elicitation.
correct? Omar, Shibli, Razeen,
Yes.
Ahmed.
Yes. Yes,
Perfect.
Mr. Amara.
So what I was doing actually, I was collecting the requirement, right? But he didn't know. So what I was doing, I was collecting the requirement as user story. So I was collecting the requirement as user story. And he gave me how many user story? He gave me user story from his style for the house. Similarly, there is another user story will be from his wife. Then there will be another user story from his family members. So many user stories, right? Say something, yes or no? So at least I feel you
We're
guys are-
following. We're following.
Yeah.
We're focusing with
So
you.
if there are so many user stories in the document, we write user story. We call this document Apex. Apex is a document which contains many user stories. That was your question, Mr. Bashir, right?
Yeah. No, I got it.
Where is Apex, sir?
Apex is like a big page, and inside big page we have points or the stories.
Okay. Okay.
So that is called
No,
user story.
in this picture, where we can put Apex.
This is Apex, the outer boundary.
Okay.
This outer boundary is
Okay.
Apex.
It is inside Agile elicitation.
In Agile we use Apex to collect the user stories.
Okay.
In Agile, we collect user stories in the form of Apex.
Epic. Okay.
Perfect. to make it more interesting, to make it more flavor and more interesting, let me finish it. Just two more things, then I will take the questions. To make it more interesting, this user story, when we create it, we create a persona. Now, what is this persona? Anyone have persona definition? Heard about it?
No.
So
you
we
guys
heard
have-
about Rexona.
Okay. You guys have seen the fiction cartoons in the newspaper, Miss Aisha?
What is it?
Fiction cartoons, like they explain a message with the help of cartoon, or the fiction stories. Every day or every week there is a
Simpson.
story comes, Simpson type of things, which comes in the newspaper. There is a cartoon which explains a story, and the next week again they publish another episode, like fiction characters, right? You might have seen in the magazines or somewhere. So to add the flavor, what we do, the person who's collecting the user story, he defined the persona. Now, how will you define the persona? Let me make it neutral. I don't want to go to Mr. Bashir. Imran is a guy who is age of this. Imran is a guy who is the IT guy, so he loves smart things instead of manual thing. He is very lazy because he's an IT guy. He likes vibrant color. He likes this. So this is what I defined your characteristics. So we do the user story on the basis of persona analysis. We create a personal attire of every person. Then Imran wife is like this, she like this, he like this, she's this mentality, she's very careful in choosing this thing, and so on. So that is what we are creating your persona analysis. And based upon your persona, I will create your user story. So it will look more interesting. Why it will look more interesting? Because you will understand the mind of the person, that what he likes. Like yesterday we did an exercise of a vase, and I said, why you didn't ask me? So when you are explaining, like if you ask your friend that I need to buy a birthday gift for my another friend, it might have happened with all of you, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So that friend always ask your question, what your friend looks like, what she likes, what she doesn't like. Now say yes.
Yes, yes.
So based upon the liking and disliking, you create what? User story. That what is user
Perception.
story?
Yes.
Yeah, what is user story? What they needs. Mr. Bukhari, what happened?
Nothing.
You are enjoying the conversation or not at all?
A bit.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I have a doubt here.
Go on.
Is this a requirement and collect requirement? Both are same?
By the process of collect requirement, yeah, you will collect the requirements. But this process in Agile, it is called as elicitation.
Okay, sir. And one more thing, how the baseline is equal to a backlog?
Coming, wait, I didn't reach to that point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Imran, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You said the Epic is also user story. What's the difference
Apex
between them?
is the big paper which contains many user stories.
And what's the difference between the other one, persona?
Persona is like explanation of a person, what he needs or what she looks like. No?
Okay.
Wait, I will explain it. So let me explain. Imagine this is a document called Apex. Okay. This is a document called Apex. And this Apex contains user stories. Let me use the mouse. So I will try to make it as small as possible. This is, let's suppose, persona 1. And I will make, let's suppose, a character. And here is attribute, that what is the age group, and let's suppose 30, and likes fashion, and likes to have IT in the life. And he said that I need my room like this. It should have this, 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 this. This is one user story. Then persona 2 of another person. He said he is this 40 years of age. He is a businessman and he likes to think simple. And he said my room should be like this, like this, like this, and it should have this. Persona 3 is a small kid, very energetic, likes colors and this. And he said that I need this color bed, this thing, this thing, this thing, this. And this is persona 4, a kid who likes to have soccer. He need a room who looks like this, and so on. So in Apex, what I'm collecting user stories, right?
Yes.
Now it's clear.
Yeah, clear.
So now these Apex are born because of the result of elicitation, right?
Yeah.
We went to everywhere. Maybe we have done the one-to-one interview. Maybe we have sent them the questionnaire. But in questionnaire, you will not get the persona or service. But you have done this. And to support them, you might have shown something like a prototype, like pictures. So based upon that, they would be able to provide the user stories. So these all are user stories. And if you look, they are unsorted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once we have all the user stories collected, or as maximum user story collected, where should I throw it somewhere?
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Okay. So when we have Apex, so these Apex will be thrown inside a container. Suppose that where's my mouse? This is a container, and this container is called as product backlog. You bring all the Apex and you put it inside. You put it inside. Who brings the Apex, or who is responsible for the Apex? In collect requirements, who is responsible? Say something.
Project team.
Project manager.
Hmm.
For elicitation, the role is called as product
Team member.
owner.
Product
Product owner. Product owner is the voice of customer. I will detail it a lot, but product owner is the person who is responsible for elicitation and collecting the requirements. He collects with the help of the team and bring all the requirements and throw it here unorganized. Then product owner sit with the product owner hires a guy called coach or team leader. Coach or team leader. And both of them, then they hire a team. And as we said in Agile, everything is fixed. So team size is maximum 9, minimum 2, maximum 9 members. Sometimes they call 6, but depends. I'm not going in that debate. this will remain fixed. And the team will be what? Self-organizing. Self-organizing means what I said yesterday, I-shape or T-shaped?
T-shape.
T-shape.
T-shape, T-shape, T. So product owner and team will prioritize the product backlog that the user story, which will give highest value of money and highest risk, it has highest risk, should be done on the top. Then the user story, which will give more than others, so they will be on the top 4, 5, and 6. Let's suppose. So now it becomes what? Prioritized product backlog. Who did it? Product owner and
Team.
now they prioritize. The beauty of Agile is that it is also possible that multiple team can work simultaneously. So if one team contains 6 members, so imagine now these are the 3 teams, team 1 of 6 people, team 2 of 6 people, team 3 of 6 people. So what every team has to do, they have to select the user story which is on the top, and now they have to decompose into the task. They will take a user story, as many user stories they can finish it, and then break the things down or decompose the thing into tasks. They will take the user story and break the things into tasks. So this product backlog will become the iteration backlog or iteration backlog. So this is the iteration backlog of 1, this is the iteration backlog of 2, and this is the iteration backlog of 3. The sprint size is also fixed, minimum 1 week, maximum 6 weeks. So when the time will finish, no one is allowed to speak in the middle. No changes are accepted in the middle. When the time will finish, there will be a review meeting. Like in predictive, we have what? Phase gate. In Agile, we have what? Iteration or a sprint review. So when we will have the review meeting, so what will happen? Review meeting is like this. Product owner will sit with customer or sponsor here, and this side will be the team and coach. They will demonstrate the deliverable. If they like it, they approve it, it will be shipped. If they don't like it, we will take these new requirements and put them again in the product backlog. Then this product backlog will be reprioritized, and then team will start a new sprint and then take the user story and decompose it. And this will continue throughout the project until you achieve the value. I tried my best to make it as easy as possible. And I think in the last 2 years, this is one of the biggest explanation I have given for Agile.
So retrospect,
They
re-
speak what
you just discussed about the product backlog, sprint review, and all epics.
product epics, user story, persona analysis, product
Yes.
backlog, prioritize product backlog, iteration backlog, iteration review,
Okay. One thing is remaining in this slide, retrospect.
retrospect.
Okay.
After every review meeting, before starting the new sprint, we will do the retrospect, which is right lesson learned. That
Okay, lesson learned.
what
Okay.
this is retrospect is what thing that yesterday we guys were fighting. This is 6 days, this is 8 days, this is 10 days.
Yeah.
Now
yeah,
we
yeah.
have finished the sprint. You found out it was actually what. So now you will update the lesson learned that okay, for this task, no, we will not do 8 or 6, we will do 5. This is enough.